Good evening. This is Making the Case. I'm Yodit Tewolde. 2021 was a record year for exonerations of those wrongfully convicted, especially among Black people. Case in point, last year, 132 people were exonerated. 81 of them were Black. And many of those cases we've covered here on Making the Case. From Curtis Crossland, who spent 34 years in prison for a murder he didn't commit, to Kevin Strickland, who was exonerated late last year after spending more than half of his life in prison as an innocent man. And while there's no denying these exonerations should be applauded and celebrated, there's no getting around the root causes of why these Black men and so many others were wrongfully convicted in the first place. With me now to discuss is Noah McGee, a staff writer for The Root, who covered this issue in his latest article. Noah, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Of course. Now, Noah, this is an issue we discuss every week on the show, and there are a number of factors that are present in these cases that we do present of wrongful conviction cases, particularly what the wrongfully convicted look like. Having worked in the criminal legal system from basically all sides, this is an issue that's personal for me, but I'm curious though, why you wrote about this issue in your latest article.
Yes, absolutely. I just found myself the last couple of weeks writing a lot of stories about exonerations. Most notably the Groveland Four. Other people at theroot.com wrote about Kevin Strickland, Muhammad A. Aziz, Khalil Islam. I just recently wrote about Devania Inman. And I just found myself wondering, where all these exonerations coming from? And me and my editor felt like it was a good time to, look up these exonerations and see if there was a pattern in the exonerations in terms of Black people being exonerated in the last couple of years.
Now, Noah, in researching your article, you spoke with several experts on the matter about the cause for the uptick in exonerations for those who have been wrongfully convicted. What was the most revealing aspect of those conversations that gave you a better understanding of the issue?
Absolutely. I spoke with Dr. Uhuru Williams, who is the director of the Racial Justice Initiative at St. Thomas University. And one of the things I was actually pretty surprised by was the fact that, the George Floyd case of last year, Ahmaud Arbery, all of these high-profile cases have raised this overall awareness about social justice and social awareness issues. And as a result, there's been not necessarily pressure, but more awareness from the community about what's going on in the prison system, in the social justice system, and wrongful convictions are a big part of that.
Now, did any of the data that you came across during your research of this topic, did it surprise you?
Absolutely. When I was looking at the data of overall exonerations, pretty much since 1989, a majority of those exonerations were Black people. And I shouldn't have been shocked considering the demographic of, Black people in prison. But it was just shocking how many of the overall numbers were Black people. Like in 2021 alone, over 60% of the people exonerated were Black. Last year was 65%. In the last 10 years, it's been over 50%. So it's kind of shocking considering how many Black people have been exonerated.
Now, did you get into the systemic reasons why such a disproportionate number of Black and brown people tend to be wrongfully convicted?
Yes, absolutely. I spoke with Barbara O'Brien, who's a professor at Michigan State University and the editor of the National Registry of Exonerations. And one of the things that she pointed out was the mistaken witness identification, and how specifically when there's a difference in race, white victim, Black suspect, 3.5 more times more likely with sexual assault cases, the suspect was wrongfully convicted. And murder convictions, they're 7 times more likely to be wrongfully convicted. And that's specifically with cross-racial identification. And that just shows in a lot of these cases, it's going, on one person's word or another. And a lot of cases, Black defendants are getting the short end of the stick in that sense. And that's been going on for, as long as time. So.
Now, Noah, one of the cases that we followed, and I know that it was one that you mentioned in your article that we followed closely here on the show, was Kevin Strickland, who spent basically more than half of his life behind bars for a crime he didn't commit before being exonerated at the end of last year. How much of his release can be attributed to the rise in social consciousness?
Yes, absolutely. I mean, a lot of these exonerations, and you would know this, there's years of work and work being put towards this. It's not just, last year, George Floyd died and all of a sudden these exonerations are happening. There's been a lot of work put towards this, but because of the social awareness from communities and people and just the overall awareness of people, these exonerations have gotten more attention and more call for people to be like, hey, this man was wrongfully convicted. Why is he not out? And Kevin Strickland is a prime case of that. After spending 20 plus odd years and not being exonerated until he was 62 years old. So there's a lot of cases from Groveland 4 who were posthumously exonerated. I mean, Mama Aziz was exonerated when he was 83 years old. So there's just a lot of these cases, high profile cases, that have happened in the last couple of years because of the social awareness of the social justice and Black Lives Matter movement.
Well, going back to those factors that I mentioned that we see in cases where someone was wrongfully arrested, prosecuted, convicted, then imprisoned, are three things: unreliable witness identification, police and prosecutorial misconduct, and untested DNA evidence. Did you find these same issues in the cases you looked into?
Absolutely, 100%. In the majority of the cases, there was mistaken witness identification. Almost, when you look at the Black exonerations each year, in about 50% of those cases, obviously they might change from year to year, but around 50% of those cases, there's mistaken witness identification, which is obviously a big example in Devania Inman, who there was a man who admitted to committing the crime, but he was still convicted. And obviously he was recently exonerated, but mistaken witness identification is one of the biggest factors with Black people being wrongfully convicted. But obviously DNA is obviously a big part of people getting exonerated because of technology is evolving and whatnot. And now people are able to prove that these people were wrongfully convicted.
Now, Noah, some of these factors, when you hear about them now, when we talk about this socially conscious, era that we're in right now, that people want to be more involved in reforming our legal system, our criminal legal system, they're shocked to hear these things, but some of these facts of these cases were just as shocking then when the person was going through their trial and convicted, when we're talking about unreliable witness testimony or identification, other than, DNA being tested later, which should be tested when the person's actually being tried. Why do you think now people are having sort of this moment of surprise or astonishment or just disgust with something that should have been the case and should have been the reaction, 10 years ago, 20 years ago?
I think it's the mere fact that these men have been in prison for so long. I mean, a lot of these high-profile cases, men have been, they were convicted. Groveland 4 was convicted in 1949. These men have been in prison for so long. And that's one of the unfortunate things about this, is that these men have been in jail, prison for 20 plus odd years. And it's, a huge deal because they've been in prison for so long. But just because they're getting exonerated now doesn't kind of make up for the time they spent in prison. So in some way, people are the justice system could be saying like, hey, we're writing this wrong. This is a right thing we're doing. But it doesn't make up for the time that they missed while they were in prison. Like Kevin Strickland spent half of his life in prison. Groveland 4 they're all dead. So it's just an unfortunate truth, and I think people are just shocked by the mere time they spent in prison, and it's coming to the light now. So.
Now, you had a chance to ask each of the experts, what people can do to put an end to wrongful convictions, and I'm curious to know what exactly they said, especially wrongful convictions targeting Black people. What were some of their solutions?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, education is always top of the list. You have to know what's going on. You have to know cases. You have to know organizations you can work with. Petitions are also important. Putting your name towards that. That's something that always helps. It raises awareness about things. A lot of these innocence organizations, they have local, town, different organizations across the country, what's New York, LA, Chicago, that you can work with. So always putting, manpower, working with those organizations. A lot of them are nonprofits, volunteering for those places is important. And obviously just sharing stories. I mean, if a person is exonerated, if there's somebody who's been wrongfully convicted, if there's a case that's getting some buzz, share those stories. Social media is a powerful tool, and the more people know is the better.
All right, Nora McGee, staff writer with The Root, thank you so much for your time tonight and shedding light on this ongoing issue. Appreciate you.